Thank you very much. Thank you, Shane and Kirsty. It's a real privilege to be here in Birmingham with you today. Let me start by congratulating Shane and all of FE Week, as well as City and Guilds, for making today possible, and to thank you for all that you do. The success of this conference over 10 years is a huge tribute to your leadership and to your passion, and I can see from today how much of a difference it is making. And thank you also for the opportunity to join during Colleges Week and see so many people here today. I was incredibly proud to be appointed by Keir Starmer in September as Labour's Shadow Minister for Skills and Further Education, working in our Shadow Education team led by Bridget Phillipson, with my focus being on making sure that we do all we can to ensure access to jobs, gaining of new skills, and supporting the growth of our economy. Now, one of the most enjoyable parts of my job as a Shadow Minister is to be able to get across the country to be visiting businesses, colleges, training providers, learning from your insights and experience. I also want to thank those I met in the exhibition hall as well, just before coming in today, because seeing all that's going on, visiting FE Tech, UCAS, Pearson, and others who I've met before as well, it's a real showcase of so much of the knowledge and also the expertise, and also the driving forward into the future, the challenges of the sector and the opportunities for apprenticeships. Now, all of you here today, whether you're an apprentice, an employer, a provider, or a rewarding organisation, all of you contribute so much to our skills system. And not just to our skills system, but to our economy and to our businesses. As a sector, your professionalism and dedication is incredibly valued. Your work is what helps drive our productivity and create opportunities. The conversations we've been having through the conference, which will run into tomorrow, whether that's on regulations or funding or the impact of AI and so many other areas, I'm very much looking forward to hearing the conclusions of some of those discussions, because the future has to be something that we create together. And this is all why skills isn't just on my agenda, but on the agenda of the whole of the Labour Party. It's centre stage for Keir Starmer, and indeed for Shadow Chancellor Rachel Reeves. Today's conference is a celebration of apprenticeships, as well as the opportunity to debate what more needs to be done and share that very best of practice. Because we know that apprenticeships are a gold standard in skills development, incorporating both on and off job training, together with T-levels and BTECs and other AGQs, forming the backbone of our vocational training system. We recognise the concerns that have been raised around the defunding of BTECs and other AGQs. We know that apprenticeships are transformative for breaking down the barriers to opportunity, for career progression, and for business growth. And the greatest advocates for apprentices and apprenticeships are apprentices themselves. UCAS recently reported that 63% of apprentices were likely to recommend their training route to others. And research from Multiverse found that 78% of businesses who hire an apprentice say that it positively impacts on their organisation. In my role as Shadow Skills Minister, and indeed before, I've made it a priority to meet apprentices in different sectors and around the country to learn about their experiences, whether that's tech and engineering apprentices at Virgin or Cisco in my constituency, or the Intertrain facility in Bristol, to those working and learning at the National Academy for Nuclear, or the health and aerospace apprentices in Milton Keynes, Newcastle, or Liverpool. The chance to work and learn, the chance to retrain, the chance to have a new career, as young mums told me, about their opportunity to get back into the workforce and build a career in business, in construction, in engineering or hospitality, with great prospects for their futures. Sometimes it's a second chance that no other route could give. But I just want to say a few words about the national policy picture, because we know as a nation that our number one priority is going to need to be to grow our economy with the proceeds of growth in how we can afford to invest in our public services and in our communities. Our economy is now smaller than when the Prime Minister himself took office in 2022. It is the first Parliament in which living standards will have contracted before the end of the Parliament, and contracted in the Parliament. And as companies plan for net zero, for digital transformation, government, our education sector and industry need to work ever closer together to plan ahead for the long term. We have so much to do to better understand the skills demands of national, regional and sub-regional economies, and we need new structures in government to develop that renewed national skills strategy. That's why we will set up a new national skills task force, Skills England, which will bring together businesses, colleges, training providers and unions to meet the skills needs of the next decade across all of our regions and ensure that we can achieve net zero, supporting modular courses in priority areas of our industrial strategy. But we know that there are also challenges for providers with how things are working. Under the Conservatives, apprenticeship starts have fallen by over 200,000. Real terms funding cuts for the FE sector have fallen to record lows, and vital decision-making powers have been taken away from local authorities or local communities. The apprenticeship levy is too inflexible. Recruitment and retention of trainers and assessors, a challenge that many have raised with me. And we see the impact of these challenges. In every single region, apprenticeship starts have fallen since 2010. SME engagement with apprenticeship has fallen by 49% since 2016. Level 2 and Level 3 apprenticeships have seen the worst falls, with a 69% fall in the number of starts at Level 2. These drops representing real people, real young people, left without the ladder of opportunity that they deserve. And the government are on track to miss the 67% achievement rate, with almost half of apprenticeships not being completed, with a range of reasons as to why that we need to see addressed. But it's also true that many young people and adult learners say that they aren't aware of apprenticeships and opportunities available to them. And that isn't an equal picture either, with the results from the youth voice census of last year suggesting that a third of black students don't hear about apprenticeship opportunities, compared to 13% of white young people. And meanwhile, the government's own data shows that skills shortages vacancies are at their highest levels, especially in priority sectors. The government has been too slow in addressing the challenges and then building a plan to address them. But my starting point is always one of a sense of optimism about where we can reach. We know that there won't be a magic wand, but we take seriously the challenges and the need for a plan to address them. At the core of our offer is also a plan for political and economic stability, to give confidence to invest in the vital skills and training opportunities you provide, avoiding policy announcements made on the whim and rush through without a long-term plan. Partnership will be key. Businesses, industry, and our public services, our colleges, training providers and schools, working together for the highest standards in apprenticeship learning and training, and making it easier to access opportunities as well as keep our qualifications and facilities up to date. We'll reform the apprenticeship levy to allow for up to 50% of the levy to be spent more flexibly through a growth and skills levy, because we're listening to employers and providers as we develop plans for how to move forward. An estimated £3 billion of unspent levy has gone back to the UK Treasury since 2019, which could have been spent on more training opportunities for learners and through that on training providers, supporting capacity to grow. This is not a system working as it needs to be. And bringing more flexibility is a policy backed up by the Manufacturing 5, the British Retail Consortium, Tech UK, Co-op Groups, City and Guilds, and the list goes on. And for SMEs who don't currently pay the apprenticeship levy, under Labour they will continue to receive 95% co-payments. And to understand better those wider barriers to SME engagement, I have announced that over the next few months I will be undertaking a tour of colleges and providers across the country, holding roundtables with small businesses to understand on the ground the barriers and what we can do to change. Our skills plans will empower existing FE colleges as well to take a lead in responding to local skills improvement plans and attracting business investment to become new specialist technical excellence colleges. And it's also vital that young people are aware of their post-16 options so that they know which routes are open to them and how to take them. That's why Labour wants to train over 1,000 new professional careers advisors for students in our schools and our colleges. So in conclusion, apprenticeships and businesses and training providers and colleges that make them possible are vital to our nation's economic prosperity, our green prosperity plans delivery, our communities and the lives of all of our learners. That's why Labour will place apprenticeships at the heart of our skills revolution, and I look forward to working with all of you to make that possible. Thank you very much.